everybody, and welcome back to another episode of My Beat Goes On. As always, my name is Chris, and I will be taking you through this little presentation today. And today, as promised, we are going through the Entresto clinical trial. And I apologize for it being a while since my last video. I had some things in life come up, and we all know how that goes. So hopefully I think I got them all sorted out, and we should be back on a normal recording schedule. But for now, today we're going to get into the Entresto clinical trial and how exactly Entresto gained its approval. So let's dive into this. The Entresto clinical trial, it started in December of 2009, finished May of 2014. It actually finished early, which we'll go over a little bit later. This was a double-blind test, which means the patients and the researchers did not know who was taking what medication. This is important to know so that the results can't be skewed in the favor of any drug being tested. The two drugs compared in this study, the doses and the drugs, it was 200 milligrams of Entresto twice a day, which is the max dose, compared to 10 milligrams of enalapril twice a day. And the sources that I got these from, I mostly use clinicaltrials.gov, which you can go on there and look at all the clinical trials that have been done through the government. And there was some stuff on Entresto's website as well that I used. But the clinicaltrials.gov is a really good website if you want to go on and look at all the trials for any of the medications that you're on. They should all be listed there, and it's pretty simple to follow along and see what's going on. So as far as this trial, the inclusion criteria, it consisted of outpatients that were greater than or equal to 18 years of age, and it could be male or female. You had to be diagnosed with New York Heart Association's class 2 to 4 congestive heart failure and have a reduced ejection fraction that equaled less than or equal to 35% and an elevated BNP. You had to be on an ACE inhibitor or an ARB at a stable dose of at least enalapril 10 milligrams per day or the equivalent for at least 4 weeks. And you had to have been treated with a beta blocker unless it was contraindicated or you didn't tolerate it at a stable dose for at least 4 weeks. Some exclusion criteria, and I didn't list all of it, I just kind of picked what I thought was the more important stuff. If you had a known history of angioedema, if you remember last time that the angioedema was a side effect of the Entresto, so if they knew you had that, you couldn't participate. You required treatment with both an ACE inhibitor and an ARB. If you had symptomatic hypotension and or a systolic blood pressure of less than 100, if you had kidney issues where you had an estimated GFR of less than 30, as it was measured by the simplified MDRD formula, if your serum potassium was greater than 5.2, and there was no healthy volunteers, which it didn't specifically say this, but from what I'm assuming, that means that nobody without CHF was allowed to take this drug, which honestly, I don't know why you'd want to anyway. Primary outcome measures, this is the initial and most important stuff they're trying to figure out with this new drug compared to an established drug. They had two of them. The first one was the number of patients that had a first occurrence of the composite endpoint, and those two things were defined as either cardiovascular death, which obviously is going to end the trial there, or a heart failure hospitalization. And the first occurrence of the hospitalization, just to clear that up, it doesn't mean if you had to have never been admitted to the hospital for heart failure. This drug was trying to keep people out of the hospital, so it was just the first time that you were admitted to the hospital for a heart failure related problem while on Entresto. And they also have a bunch of secondary outcome measures. I didn't list them all. I thought the ones that were the most relevant were all-cause mortality, the number of patients with first confirmed renal dysfunction, and percentage of patients with new onset of atrial fibrillation. So the participant data, This kind of compares the two of them. I left off a few people that they made some mistakes with and they weren't included to the end. So the numbers, if you go on the website, are a tiny bit higher on each of these. But these are the main numbers of everybody that went through. So as you can see with Entresto, they had 4,187 people, and Alpril had 4,212. You can see the amount completed, 3468 and 3371. The amount not completed, the percentage of male and females, and the reasons that they weren't completed for Entresto. Death was 724, lost to follow-up were 2, and patients requesting not to finish was 15. And in Alpril, you can see their deaths were a lot higher, with 844 deaths, 5 lost to follow-up, and 13 that requested not to finish. The primary outcome results, same amount of participants. So the primary composite was 914 for Entresto and 1,117 for Nalapril. The way I figure this is you had some people that were hospitalized and then passed away. So that's why the number is a little bit higher on this page than the last one. But as far as cardiovascular deaths, which is really the biggest thing for anybody living with heart failure, is Entresto had 558 people, where Enalapril had a lot more at 693. And with the small amount of people compared to the worldwide people that have heart failure, that's actually really, really good prevention of cardiovascular death. And the first-time hospitalization also had really good numbers in favor of Entresto. It was 537 to 658. So as you can see, 103 less participants had either a cardiovascular death or first-time heart failure hospitalization with Entresto. We had a total of 135 less cardiovascular-related deaths with Entresto and 121 less first heart failure hospitalizations with Entresto. And because of this, the trial was approved to terminate early due to compelling efficiency of Entresto, and it was only after 51 months, which is really amazing for a drug to be able to do that they actually got approval to end it that quickly. So I just wanted to go over the basics, kind of let you know how these trials go, what they do, what they're looking for. So get on that clinical government website. Make sure you check that out if you want to see more on this. I didn't include everything. I just wanted to give a brief overview to show you how important Entresto is to heart failure prevention and preventing death. So that's going to be the end of this episode. You can use the link if you're new to this channel. If you're not in our Facebook support group, there's a link in the description with the support group and our website, which we have a lot of information on and we're updating all the time. Through their support group, you can find a link to our medical trials group where we are posting a lot of different things that you can earn money on. And we make sure to vet these people. We make sure that what we're putting out is not people trying to scam you or steal your information. These are legit deals. They're pretty easy to do. All you got to do is apply to them, see if you qualify. If you do, it's pretty simple to make a few bucks. I've done it myself. I'm the other administrator for our website, and for our support group does them as well. And it's stuff not just for CHF. There's stuff for people with diabetes and all other types of things that we post on there. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. There's the handle there. It's at MyBeatGoesOn1. Make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications. We're going to be posting a lot more videos to come. Make sure you like and leave a comment on any topics you want to see in the future. All these interactions that you do with the video help the channel grow and they help people find it. So if you can take a few seconds, even if it's just to hit the like button, that really helps us out and really helps the community find this YouTube channel so that they can get answers they want and come join our support group, and we can all, group together to take on this disease. And today and tomorrow, I'm going to start recording for the podcast. So this way you can take us on the road with you. If you want to make it easier for friends and family to listen, you don't need to pull up video. It'll just be a little bit of audio. It's going to be on all the topics we cover. So make sure you check that out. We'll get the link and all that going pretty soon for you. So with that, y'all keep on fighting. We appreciate each and every one of you that come and join our group and support us and support our podcast, support this YouTube channel, and help us grow and help this community fight heart failure. And hopefully one day we will put an end to it. So until next time, keep on rocking, and we will see you later.